Hello everyone and welcome to Lovella's Coloring. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I am going to be sharing with you my completed colorings from July to October. And yeah, I did not realize that my last completed coloring video was in June. So I hope I found all of the colorings that I have completed since. And I think I shared some of the colorings in the series that I completed this summer, which is the collection of all of my completed colorings. So you may see those same colorings again in this one. If you want the link for that series of the collection of all of my completed colorings, I'll leave the link up above here, and you can also find it down below in the video description. So I did not count how many colorings I'm going to be sharing in this video. I do have a pretty big stack here that I'm not used to having for these completed colorings video, and so I'm thinking this is going to be a long one. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to clear off this desk and I will see you all in a few seconds. Please enjoy. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the PDFs that I've colored. So this one I completed in July, and you may have seen it in the all my completed coloring series, but this illustration is from T. Fallon, also known as Durian Attic, and it is from the coloring book called Blissful Babes. I do have a speed coloring of this illustration, and I will leave the link up above here if you want to go ahead and check that one out. And yeah, I really had a lot of fun coloring in this illustration because her illustrations are already beautiful, so it made it so easy to just apply color, and yeah, just so much fun for me. So I printed this off onto the Strathmore Tone Tan paper. I did base it with Ohuhu brush markers on the leaves and on her hair. And then for pencils, I used the Faber-Castell Polychromos and the Caran d'Ache Luminance, which I believe the Luminance I mostly did on her skin, I think, and on these leaves and the butterflies. And then I did also use some white Posca on her eyes and the butterflies, and then the Sakura white jelly roll on the rings here for the finer white lines. Here's a close-up. I believe this part wasn't supposed to be an eye, it was supposed to be a gem, but I was watching Doctor Strange at the time, so I changed it out and made it an eye. But yeah, a lot of fun. I really like how this one turned out. And so this is my coloring from Blissful Babes by Durian Attic. My next coloring is from Kawaii Girls by Jade Summer. I have the PDF version, but I used to have the physical copy, but I handed it down to my niece. And while I was trying to print out the PDF book, but having the 6 pages to one side and doing both sides, I accidentally printed out the whole book. So, and this was before we moved, and so while I had it out and my son was coloring, I decided to let him color a page, and this is the page I colored. Mason didn't finish his, so I'm just going to share mine. And we used the Crayola crayons, and I really like how it looks with the Crayola crayons. It's kind of sketchy, and with the rest of the pages, just so I don't want to waste the paper, so I'm just going to go ahead and color the other illustrations with Crayola crayons. So again, this is from Kawaii Girls by Jade Summer. The next PDF is from Deborah Mueller, and the coloring book is Christmas Fun and Festive Girls. And this is an illustration that I printed out, I think 2 years ago. I tried to work on it last Christmas, and then I finally finished it, I think around July or August. And yeah, so happy to finally get this one done. This was a whip that I really wanted to finish. So this was based with alcohol markers. You can see a majority of it is alcohol markers. The pencil that I used is the Black Widow colored pencils. I used white Posca, silver Posca on her sweater, some gold Posca on the tag for the cat, and then some glitter on the ribbons right here, glitter gel pen. So yeah, so this one is from Deborah Mueller from the coloring book Christmas Fun and Festive Girls. The next coloring I'm going to share is an illustration by Carla Magana from her coloring book Spooklets. And I picked this page to do because T from T's World of Adult Coloring also picked this page. So when I saw that she was going to color it, I decided to kind of make it like a buddy color and color the same illustration. And yeah, I had so much fun. It is my first coloring from this book. I do have the PDF version. So for this illustration, I use Copic markers for her skin, and then Ohuhu brush markers to base the rest, which is her hair and the reds in this illustration. And then the pencils that I used to color her in is the Derwent Pro Color. And then the background, all the golds on her eyelids, her hair, her earring, and then on strapped around her neck and arms. That is the Kuretake Gansai Tambi Starry Color watercolors. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really like how the gold flashes. So yeah, this is my coloring from Spooklets by Carla Magana. The next illustration is another one by Carla Magana from her coloring book called Retro Deco. It is also another illustration that T picked out to do, and I wanted to color along, so it's a kind of buddy color too. And yeah, so for this illustration, I based it with Ohuhu brush markers with the Kohinoor Polycolor to shade it in. A lot of glitters and shimmers. So here you can see the it's the Delta brand, and it's a glitter, like a glitter acrylic, so it's huge chunks. I like that it has some blues in there for the blues I have on her, some stickles in her hair, her earring. And then in her hair was, I forgot which watercolor, but it's like a metallic or pearlescent watercolor. And yeah, so this is my coloring from Retro Deco by Carla Magana. The last PDF I'm going to share is an illustration by an artist. Her name is Tali. I colored one of her other illustrations earlier in the year, but she sent me this illustration and asked me if I would like to color it. It's for one of her challenges. I almost forgot, so this was one of the last colorings that I did in October. But I did this all with Copic markers, and then I also used the Nuvo glitter marker for the flowers on her face, and then the rims of her glasses is the silver Posca. Also used some white Posca, and then yeah, a lot of fun. I really like her hair with the highlights of the lights. I searched like a lot of photos of the Tokyo night lights and the way it reflects, and then her hair, I think I wanted it to be black, but it just kind of like ended up being blue, and I really like the blue hair, so I decided to leave it like that. So yeah, so this is my coloring from the artist Tali. I'm going to go ahead now and start sharing the colors that I did in the smaller size books. So I'm starting off with 100 Hugs, and this is by Chris Rydell. And This was actually a whip. I can't remember when I started the page or which pencils I used, but I finished it out with the Brute Funer, the square barreled colored pencils, and then outlining the moon and the stars on her dress. I used the Sakura Stardust. I don't know if you can see the glitter from it, but yeah, I just wanted to finish it out, and then I forgot that I did. But I do want to try to continue coloring this one in and finishing it out. So this one is 100 Hugs by Chris Rydell. The next small coloring book I'm going to share is Enchanted Faces. This is a pocket-sized coloring book, and it's by Hannah Lynn. And there are 3 colorings in here I'm going to share. I did them as buddy colors with the lovely Terilynn and Emma Colors 2020 here on YouTube. So I'll go ahead and pop up their versions up here. And yeah, very beautiful. For each of the pages that we did, I just love their versions. So for my coloring, I used Ohuhu brush markers as a base. The pencils that I used to shade her in is the Arteza Expert colored pencils. I did use some white Posca in her eye and then on the sky. I used some Colero watercolor on the eggshells. Or eggshell, and then the trim of her dress, her little neck thing, and then her bracelet. On the wings, I added Zig Wink of Stella. And yeah, very, very cute. So this is Sadie's Dragon, and then the next one that we did is the Butterfly Keeper. And let me go ahead and pop up their beautiful versions here. And yeah, this one, I think we did this either July or August, one of them. I can't remember which one it was. So again, this one was based with Ohuhu brush markers, but the pencils that I used is the Colleen colored pencils. It was a little hard blending the skin with the Colleens. I ended up using one of the whites. I can't remember if I pulled out the white Prismacolor, but I didn't write it down, but I might have, just to smooth out the skin. I did also use white Posca for around here, gold and silver Posca for her bra, for the key, and then the Sakura Stardust for her hair. I don't know, I like the glitter in the hair. And then, so this is the Butterfly Keeper. And then the last page in this book, which is this one. What is this one called? That is called Clara. So this is Clara. And then let me go ahead and share Terilynn's and Emma's page here. So thank you so much, Terilynn and Emma, for doing these buddy colors with me. And we're helping each other to complete this book. So for this page, I used the Lemachet markers as a base, and then I used the Arteza Expert colored pencils. And for the reds in here, I couldn't find the right color in the Arteza set, so I pulled out, I think it was Caput Mortem in the Faber-Castell Polychromos to shade her outfit in, and the hat. I also use white Posca, and then the Sakura Stardust again for her hair, and then also Sakura Glaze on the buttons. Very cute. So those are the 3 colorings that I did in Enchanted Faces, the pocket-sized coloring book by Hannah Lynn. The next coloring book is Disney Portraits by Hachette Hero. I did a page in here with Vamica, who's known as Coloring with V. And we did the Snow White page, which is this one. Let me go ahead and share her beautiful Snow White on this side. So thank you so much, B, for doing this buddy color with me and getting me to color another page in this book. So here is my Snow White. I colored her in with the Prismacolor Premier colored pencils, and then I also have a little bit of white Posca in her eye, on the flowers, some Sakura metallic on the flowers, and then the background was done with a acrylic matte paint, and then to kind of recreate the design that was already in the background, I used the Nouveau glitter markers and just like speckled dots everywhere around Snow White. So yeah, so this is my completed page in Disney Portraits by Hachette Hero. The next book is Stone Mosaic. This is a color by number book. It is book 2 and by Belba Family. And this is a book that I was trying to finish this year, and I actually completed in August, but I forgot about them. Kind of like put it aside. I finished this during the time you were moving. So I'm just going to show the last few pages that I did in August and July. So here is a beach scene, birds at a bird bath with flowers, a big flower. Here's a cat with a flower pot, ice cream cone, a bird. I think that's the last one. Yeah. So those are the last few pages that I completed this summer, and I'll try to get a video done sharing all of the completed pages in this book. So this is the Stone Mosaic by Belba Family, and this is book 2. I have another color by number book. This one is Summer Girls, and it's by Sun Life Drawing. This was one that I picked up before our move, so I was working on this one after I finished the other one. So I started in the back. So here is the first page, and then here is the other page, Girl in Paris. Yeah, so those are my 2 completed colorings in Summer Girls by Sun Life Drawing. My next coloring is in Magical Forest Color Counts. This is a Mindware coloring book. And oh, I totally forgot. The colorings that I did in Summer Girls by Sun Life Drawing, they were my first in this book. So this is also for Color Your Horde, which is the color along that I host. And then the coloring in here is another first. So I colored this fold out page of the fairy and the unicorns, and yeah, so this one I think I worked on after our move. So something to work on where I just already had the colors picked out and I didn't have to worry about shading or anything like that. So yeah, I really like the colors in here. So that is my first completed page in Magical Forest Color Counts by Mindware. My next coloring is in Whimsy Girls Around the World coloring book by Hannah Lynn. I did a buddy color in here with the lovely Megan, who's known as Disney Meg's Coloring here on YouTube and on Instagram. And I'll go ahead and put up her beautiful coloring on this side. And yeah, I really love her version. And so thank you so much, Megan, for doing this buddy color with me. And yeah, so for my page, a majority of it is alcohol markers. And the only place that I use pencils is on the girl. So the pencils that I used is the Holbein's Artists Colored Pencils. And then on the buttons and the buckles, I used the silver Posca, a little bit of white Posca on her lips and her eyes, and then of course the waterfall and the clouds. And yeah, so this is also my first coloring in this book. So this one is the Whimsy Girls Around the World coloring book by Hannah Lynn. My next coloring is in Galaxy Queen by Coco. This is my first coloring in this book. This book was sent to me to share on my channel, to do a flip through, and I also did a speed coloring of this page. So I'll put a link up above here if you want to check that one out. And yeah, so for the video, I used different mediums. I started off with alcohol markers as a base for this whole page. And then the pencils that I used to color her in is the Caran d'Ache Pablo. Really like her orangey red hair, the color of her outfit. I think I used a color palette for this one. And then the stars and the round bubbles all around her, I used watercolor. I used the Kuretake Gansai Tambi, I think the star colors, and then I also used the Colorero watercolor. I believe I have the fairy tale set. And then all the glitters in the background is the Folk Art Glitterific, which is an acrylic setting paint thing. So yeah, so it holds up well. I like that sound. So yeah, so this is my first completed coloring in Galaxy Queen by Coco. My next coloring is in Whimsical Darlings coloring book by Yana Prosperina, and the page I did in here was a PDF, I forgot, I kind of put it in the book, that I printed out several years ago, and I only had the skin done, and I couldn't remember what pencils I used. All I knew was that the base was alcohol, and then for the rest of it, I ended up using Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. But then I think I realized after I was coloring in her skin that I used the Faber-Castell Polychromos underneath first, and then I added more color and used the Prismacolor on top. But yeah, really love how she looks. Very, very cute. The background is done with Distress ink, and then I also have a little bit of white Posca. So yeah, so this is the page I colored from Whimsical Darlings coloring book by Yana Prosperina. My next coloring is in Secret Garden by Johanna Basford, and I did a page in here as a buddy color with the lovely Sandra. So I'll go ahead and put up her coloring right over here. So very beautiful. I love the autumn colors that she put in there. Hers is very autumny, mine's more spring summery feel. So yeah, I love our different versions for this page. So thank you so much, Sandra. We got to pick another page in here or something, because this is our second one from this book. So here is my page. There is so much leaves, and I love that Sandra challenged me when she picked out this page, but then it was also just so many leaves. So to get me started on it, I pulled out my Distress inks and just did the whole background and leaving out the doorway. So the door was the last thing I did. And so by doing this Distress ink for the whole page, basically the whole page, just shading in the leaves was a lot of fun, very fast to do. And so I wanted to look like it was dark in the outside and getting lighter inside. Then I gave it a red door. So I forgot, did I write what I used? Okay, so I used, besides the Distress ink, the pencils that I used is the Sargent Arts Supreme. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Very, very nice. So that is my coloring in here with the lovely Sandra from Secret Garden by Johanna Basford. My next coloring is in, I'm not going to try to say it. This is Jewelry Box by Hannah Carlsson. I have the Swedish version. I have a lot of neo colors that accidentally got rubbed on here. The page that I did in here was a buddy color with the lovely Brianna. So I'll go ahead and put up her lovely coloring on this side. So thank you so much, Brianna, for doing this buddy color with me. I believe this is my first coloring besides the title page that I did in here with the lion, which I did like several years ago. So I finally did an actual page in here, and yeah, so happy with it. I did start off with Neocolor 2s to do the whole background plus a base for their hair. I think the only thing with the Neocolor 2s that I wasn't happy about is the blending. I wasn't sure how I was going to go from yellow to blue, but it's okay. It's all right. She still looks like she's like bright to me, so that's something I'm just going to have to learn as I keep using the Neocolor 2s. For the pencils that I use to shade this in, I use the Derwent Light Fast, and yeah, very, very fun coloring this one in. I actually use different colors for the skin. Hers was more of a warmer tone, and then the one with the blue hair was more of a cooler tone, but I don't know if you can see the difference with my lighting. I also used white acrylic to splatter on this page, as well as the white Posca, gold Posca that I used to outline the stars and the sun, and then the silver Posca for the strands of beads on her hair. Yeah, so this is my completed coloring in Jewelry Box by by Hannah Carlsson. My next colorings are in Johanna Basford's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I have two in here, and they're both buddy colors with Emily's Coloring Corner here on YouTube and on Instagram. So we did the B page, so I'll go ahead and share with you her lovely coloring on this side. So thank you so much, Emily, for doing these buddy colors, especially in the Ivy books, because this would be a nice book to complete someday. So for my page, I used Derwent Light Fast and Derwent Pro colors. For the wings, I outlined it with the Silver Posca with a little bit of Zig Wink of Stella. For the black portions here, I outlined it with the Sakura Glaze. And then for the gold version, or gold part of the bee here, I used the gold Posca. And yeah, I just wanted to keep it simple because I know this page is going to be very colorful. So I'm going to leave that there. That's our B page. And then the other page that we worked on is the birthday cake one. And so for the border, I started off with Derwent Ink Tints, the leaves, book, flowers, the strawberries, and then the background was done with the Albrecht Dürer, Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer, but it was so light, so I went over again the blue parts with the Faber-Castell Polychromos, and I also used those pencils to shade in the rest of the elements on this page. And for embellishments, I used white Posca, beige Posca for the stars. I used different kinds of gel pens, Sakura Metallic, Sakura Stardust, and yeah, very, very happy to have this page done. I think this was my favorite page in this book. So again, thank you so much to Emily for doing this Buddy Colors pages with me. From Johanna Basford's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. My next book is Mythographic Dream Garden. This is by Fabiana Attanasio, and I colored my first page in this book, and it's also a buddy color with my dear friend Kelly, and I'll go ahead and put his beautiful coloring on this side. And yeah, just gorgeous work. I love the way he colored his page. We kind of have the same color scheme, but the way he colored like the wispy, I don't know what these white things are around, but the way he colored his, I just really love it. So thank you so much, Kelly, for doing this buddy color with me. And so for my page, I used Derwent Inktense as a base. For pencils, I used the Kohinoor Polycolors as well as the Tritones, which I used on the petals of the sunflowers, and lots of white Posca for all those wispy cloudy thingies. And then for the background that you can see reflecting, that is 2 coats of Folk Art Dragonfly glaze. And yeah, very, very pretty. So this is my first completed coloring in the Mythographic Dream Garden by Fabiana Attanasio. Okay, so I had to stop for a bit, and I think my phone kind of moved, so sorry if the view kind of changed a little bit. So now I am going to be sharing with you Doming's coloring book. This is the Korean version, and I did another buddy color with my dear friend Kelly, but he hasn't completed his page yet, so I'm going to go ahead and share mine. So we colored the Pinocchio page, and I kind of loosely followed the colors that Doming used for his painting, for his artwork of Pinocchio. But I wanted to change up the girl. I wanted to kind of like highlight her so she kind of like pops out. And yeah, so I'm very happy with this version. I like how the water looks, the aqua color. So I did use Derwent Inktense, but I only used that in this dark blue area just so that I can just have it down and I can just go over it with pencils to darken it up a little bit. So the pencils that I used for this page is the Holbein Artist Colored Pencils, and then for embellishments I just used several different gel pens, and then lots of white Posca, especially over here. And yeah, very, very happy with this page. It is my first page completed in this book. So yeah, so this one is Pinocchio from Doming's coloring book. So I think this book and also the Doming's book and then the rest I'm going to share are ones that I worked on in October and completed in that month. So I'm starting off with Rose and Her Friends. This is a grayscale coloring book by Evelyn Van Coatsum. She sent me this book to share on my channel, so I also have a flip through of this if you would like to see it. I'll leave the link up above right here. And yeah, so after recording my video of the flip through, I was so excited to get started on a page that while it was processing and uploading, I ended up starting this page. And for her skin, I based it with alcohol markers, which is the Copic Chow markers, and then her hair was based with, I believe, Ohuhu markers. And then the leaves I did with Sargent Art colored pencils, and for the rest of it I used the Faber-Castell polychromos. On the white flowers I outlined the petals with white Sakura Jelly Roll. And yeah, had a lot of fun. The paper is very nice in this book. So this is my first coloring, the nameplate page, in Rose and Her Friends by Evelyn Van Coatsum. My next coloring is in Aria Vale coloring book. This is by Chroma, And yeah, I was so excited to get this book. When I purchased this, I wanted to get it so that I can participate in Pixie Projects Color Along, which is hashtag complete Aria Veil. And so she picks a page every month to join along. And so I colored Stargazers, and I was so excited to finally complete my first page in this book, and then to also participate in Pixie Projects Color Along. And then I realized, kind of like towards the end when I was putting on the details, I turned a page and I looked at this and I was like, oh no, this was October's page to color. And I think I had this open at first on my desk to base, and then I left to help my son, so I was like kind of like walking back and forth a lot, and so I think my breeze kind of like opened the page or something to this one, and I ended up basing this page instead. So even though I'm happy to get this page done, I hope to catch up to the next page that she picked up, probably catch up and do this one also. So for this one, I based it with Ohuhu brush markers. The pencils I used is the Crayola colored pencils. I used white Posca, silver Posca, and then Nouveau glitter marker just for the flowers right here. So yeah, super cute. It was a little hard with the Crayola colored pencils, but still happy with the way it looks. Very cute illustration. So this is the Stargazers page from Aria Veil coloring book by Chroma. I have several colorings in Matchstick Mouse and Autumn coloring book by Morgan O'Brien, and they are all buddy colors. So I'm going to start off with this first page with packages. I'll go ahead and share Megan's coloring over here, Disney Meg's coloring. And yeah, so this is our first page in this book, I believe. And yeah, very cute. And so I just use Ohuhu brush markers, so alcohol markers, for this page. And then for embellishments, I used Sakura Stardust and Aeon Art glitter gel pens, and then white Posca. I did have to color in the background with black alcohol markers because my copy is kind of like gray, like, yeah, very dark gray instead of black, and then it was so blank, so I kind of like channeled Jojo Sahana and added a quote which says, "Life is an unlimited package of happiness. Enjoy it." So I thought that would be a cute message for this illustration. And then my next coloring in here is this leaf page, which I did a buddy color with T from T's World of Adult Coloring. So I'll put up her cute coloring on this side. Love her white mouse. And yeah, again, for my page, all with alcohol markers, the Ohuhu brush markers, and then I used white Posca and gold Posca just on the hat, and that's pretty much it. I did try to do some fur coloring. I don't know if I've achieved that, but it was a lot of fun just trying. And yeah, so that is the second page done here. And then the third page is another buddy color with Megan, Disney Meg. So I'll go ahead and share her coloring on here. Very beautiful. So thank you to Meg and to T for doing the buddy colors with me in this book. And yeah, very cute. I think no matter how you color these illustrations in, always turns out so cute. So this one, again, all with alcohol markers. For embellishments, I used the Wink of Stella on the puppet. I used Sakura Stardust and Aeon Art glitter gel pens on the flowers and on the stars. And did I say white Posca? I think I did on the hat. Okay, yeah, so that's my third completed coloring in Matchstick Mouse and Autumn Coloring Book by Morgan O'Brien. The next book is another Matchstick Mouse. This is the Halloween coloring book by Morgan O'Brien. I have one coloring in here, which is my first one in this book. And I colored the one with the spider decoration. Again, all with alcohol markers. And the embellishments I used is white Posca with Zig Wink of Stella and then some silver Posca here. And yeah, I don't know if you noticed that I colored the mouse different in each of my coloring from Matchstick Mouse. I don't know how much I can do because there's a lot of Matchstick Mouse, so probably gonna keep mixing it up. So this one is Matchstick Mouse, a Halloween coloring book by Morgan O'Brien. My next coloring is in 50 Halloween Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. I wanted to participate in Erica, that is Elm Colors, color along the Angelkova. Oh, I cannot remember. I'll put the hashtag up here if you want to check it out on Instagram. But I was only able to do one, but I'm just happy that I was able to get it done. I used, again, all alcohol markers, blending with all alcohol markers. And it's the only way I was going to be able to complete this. So yeah, just happy to finish one page for her color along. And for embellishments, I use gold Posca on the hat, silver Posca on the handle here, Paul Rubin pearlescent color on the stars, and then those little dots in the background, that is the Nouveau glitter markers. And then on the hat part right over here is the Zig Wink of Stella. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So this is my completed coloring in 50 Halloween Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. My next one is Spooky Girl. This is by Coco. I was able to complete one coloring in here, and it's another buddy color with a lovely Meg. That's Disney Meg's coloring. I'll go ahead and put up her beautiful coloring on this side. She did an Alice in Wonderland version, which I love. So thank you again, Megan, for doing another buddy color with me. So this page, I did blend a little bit with alcohol markers. I used the Ohuhu brush markers. And then I did go in with pencils on her face and eyes. And then on the balloon here, and then also the tombstone. So the pencils I used is the Derwent Pro Colors, Derwent Color Soft, and the Faber-Castell Gold Fiber. For embellishments, I used the Sakura Stardust and Aeon Art Glitter Gel Pen. I think on the details in the background. I also used some white Posca, Zig Wink of Stella, I think on the details of her dress. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I also put some veins in her eyes. I don't know if you're able to see it, yeah, really like how this page turned out for my first one in this book. So this is the Spooky Girl coloring book by Coco. I have another Coco book. This one is Weird Couple, and I did my first coloring in here too as a buddy color with my good friend Amanda, which I will put her beautiful coloring on this side. So thank you, Amanda, for doing this buddy color with me. Got me to finish a page in here, which I believe it's both of our firsts. So yeah, so I don't know, when I saw this page, I pictured her with like a pinkish costume of a ram. So that's what I did. So I use Ohuhu brush markers as a base, and then Sergeant Art colored pencils to color this page in, as well as the Spiro Farben. For embellishments, I use gold and silver Uniball Signo, and then also the white and silver Posca. So this is my first completed page in Weird Couple by Coco Wayo. Next, I have Chris Riniak's Morning Scribbles Halloween Coloring Book. I did my first page in here, which is this one. And this paper is cardstock, so it's great with alcohol markers. I don't like using it with the distress ink for the background, so you can see how there's like speckles on it. So yeah, yeah, I don't know why I did that. It works a lot better on the other book, which is the Amazon printed book. But yeah, so this one is all marker. I used the Copic markers to color this cute page in, and then again distress ink for the background, and then white Posca to outline the ghost, and then also for their eyes. And that's it. I didn't even use any gel pens on this one. So yeah, so this is my first completed coloring in Chris Riniak's Morning Scribbles Halloween Coloring Book. I have another Chris Riniak's coloring book, Morning Scribbles, and this one is the Amazon printed one, and I colored this page. I think this is my favorite of the two. I think it's because I like the way the distress ink looks on the background. It really works well on the Amazon paper. So again, this one, instead of Copics, I used Ohuhu brush markers on this one. Distress ink on the background. The white sprinkles is the Dr. P.H. Martin bleed proof white, and then also some white Posca on the stars. I originally started out with the background. It was supposed to be dark on the outside and then kind of like lightening as it goes towards the middle, but then I kind of messed up somewhere, so I just decided to try to make like clouds in the background. So yeah, that's what it ended up as. But very, very happy with this page. This is again my first page in Chris Riniak's Morning Scribbles coloring book. And my last coloring is in Coloring Heaven, Bad Girls Halloween Special. This is issue number 93. And in this coloring is the last one of the month, and I didn't think I was going to be able to finish it. But Halloween wasn't that busy for us. There wasn't really that much kids. And so I was able to finish up the background. On the 30th, actually, it was already the 31st because it was already past midnight. I was able to color her in, but I didn't have the background done. And because we didn't have that much kids come by our house, I was able to just apply some distress ink to just do some clouds in the background. I just wish that she had some legs so that she's not like just floating with no legs. But this illustration is from Anna Marine. It is called Moon Witch. And so again, background done with distress ink. I did base her in with Ohuhu brush markers, and then the pencils I used is the Black Widow colored pencils. I did use silver Posca, white Posca in her eyes and her face, and then on her little, I don't know what you call these things dangling from her wand. Is that her wand? Her staff, and some glitters on there. And I also have some Sakura glaze on her black nails. And yeah, so I colored the green skin for a color along on Instagram. I think it's green skin witch. I can't remember. I'll put the hashtag up here, and it's by Samway's Coloring, and then the pink hair by Nirma Coloring. I think it was pink hair, pink lipstick, color along, or women, but I'll have their hashtag and name up here. And yeah, I just like that combination of green skin and pink hair. And then when I was trying to think about what to color her hat and dress, I just went black because black goes with everything. So yeah, very happy I was able to complete this as my last coloring for the month of October. And yeah, so that is it. I hope you guys had fun seeing all of the colorings that I've colored from July to October. And I'm just happy to finally get this video done. It's been so busy here at my house. Most of you know that I'm homeschooling my youngest son, and then right now, because my husband he's been having a lot of pain with his gout, I've been helping him out with a lot of the house projects that we have going on, a lot of them that we want to complete this month. So that's what I've been doing most of the time with my free time. And then like late at night when I can, I try to get some coloring done. And so with the videos, I try to do when there's nothing going on for the evening. So right now it's like 10 o'clock, so I'm going to try to finish this up. I'm losing my voice already, so I will see you all in my next video. Again, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for your comments, for your likes, for subscribing if you're new, or you don't have to subscribe. As long as you watch and have fun with these videos, I'm just happy. So again, thank you all so much. Sending you all lots of love and hugs. Please take care, stay safe, and happy colorings, my friends. Bye-bye.